Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to show you that I am running this 5,000 BTU window unit air conditioner off of this golf cart battery from GrenerPower and a 2,000 watt inverter. The reason I'm doing it is because I want to show you some examples of how I might be able to get you to save a little bit of money and also be able to cool your house during a power outage. So the item that is powering this entire setup is this GrenerPower Golf Cart Battery. It is a 51.2 volt lithium iron phosphate 100 amp hour battery. You know, like I said, they are meant to go in a golf cart, but you can use them to power up anything as long as you have the correct 48 volt or 51.2 volt inverter. So I'm going to go ahead and take this all apart and I'm going to go ahead and show you step by step on how I set it up. So at the heart of this setup is going to be, like I said, this GrenerPower 100 amp hour 51.2 volt golf cart lithium iron phosphate battery. Now this thing only weighs like 83 pounds, which is kind of heavy, but you get so much power out of it. It's amazing. You get 5,120 watt hours. And this setup will only take about 400 watt hours while that 5,000 BTU air conditioner is running. So you'll get, easily 10 hours out of this battery. Another thing that we have is our 2,000 watt inverter right here. And what that does is it changes the DC power that this delivers to AC power. And that is what's going to be used to power the air conditioner. Now over here, we have a golf cart charger. Now this battery that I got didn't come with a charger, but I happen to have one. They all look similar to this. So they'll have a fan on the front to keep everything cool, and they'll have ring terminals on one side to plug into your battery, and the other side will be an AC outlet. So how this setup is going to work is we're going to go ahead and put these ring terminals on the battery along with the ring terminals from the inverter. That way we can charge the battery with the charger and use the energy in the battery using the inverter at the same time. And what's nice is this is going to be like a buffer. So it will always just pull 390 to 400 watts, no matter if it's plugged in or not. So you never have to worry about power surges from the air conditioner or anything like that. So let's go ahead and get these two items wired up to the battery. Now, when wiring up this battery, you always want to have the item that can pull the most current on the bottom. And since this is a 2,000 watt pure sine wave inverter, you'll want to have that on the bottom because it has the potential of pulling the most energy. Now, even though in this setup it's not going to, the battery charger is actually going to pull more energy, but it will never really surge a lot. As a rule of thumb, you always want to have the item that pulls the most power on the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and do that first. This battery did come with two sets of post bolts right here, but I actually had these already, so I'm just going to go ahead and use those. But they are M8 terminals. All right, and like I said, we're going to be doing positive to positive and negative to negative, and we're going to be connecting the inverter first. So let's go ahead and connect those. And we're going to need to connect both of these at the same time. So you'll want to kind of pinch them together, put your M8 bolt through both of them, and then start to screw it down a little bit. And before you turn anything on, you always want to tighten these completely down. But I always get both of the connections set first before I really tighten it down. So that way everything is still a little mobile. But don't forget to tighten these down. Now, when you're connecting your inverter to your battery, this inverter is not expensive by any means. I'll have a link to it in my description. But you need to get a resistor. I'll have these linked in my description as well. You always want to pre-charge your inverter. This inverter does not have a pre-charge resistor built in, so you will need to just touch the battery and the inverter at the same time. And just hold it there for about 5 seconds. No big deal. And then once you do that, you can go and just set it on there, and there is no spark. If you don't do that, you may get a big spark from a 48 volt battery. So, and then just kind of hold it there. Have the bolt going through your ring terminal on your charger already, and then just touch it to that, and then screw it in. That way you're not kind of fumbling around with trying to get everything plugged in. You don't want these touching. If these touch, that's bad news too. You don't want these terminals to touch at all. All right, and then we're just gonna shift things around to the way we want, and then tighten everything down. All right, now that we got our inverter and our charger wired up to the battery, we are practically done. All we need to do is plug in the charger to the wall outlet and then plug in the air conditioner to the inverter. But first, go ahead and turn your inverter on so it can kind of pre-charge itself and get itself up to its 120 volts that it needs. And what I need, because of the style of this inverter, is I needed a small extension cable. Now this is this thing can handle 1500 watts. It actually can handle 15 amps, which is about 1800 watts. Because of this block right here gets in the way of the AC fuse. So that's the only reason I'm using this. But let's go ahead and plug this in. And let's plug in to the inverter. Okay, so now our DC to AC side is all plugged in. And what's nice about this battery from GrenerPower is that is actually Bluetooth compatible. So let me go ahead and pull up the app so you can see what happens in real time. Okay, here is the app right here. As you can see, this battery is sitting at 47% stated charge because honestly, I just pulled it right out of the box. The nice thing about these is they don't have any kind of memory, so you can start using it right out of the box. You don't have to charge it all the way to 100% first and then discharge it down to 0 or anything like that. You can just start using it. So, but I wanted to show you that on this app, it does show the total voltage, which is 52.5, which is in the battery, the current, which is 0 because we're not powering anything, and the watts, which is the voltage times the current. But let's go ahead and turn on the air conditioner to see what happens. All right, we just turned it on high fan, and you can see that the wattage, it spiked up to about 100 watts, and now it's sitting right around 60 watts, so no big deal. At the top there, you can see estimated empty time is 38 hours, and that's just on fan. So let's go ahead and turn it on high cool. All right, the window AC unit is now in AC mode, and our power is sitting right around 413 watts. Now it will fluctuate while the air conditioner starts to cool itself, so we'll kind of watch that. But it's already down to 388 watts, and the estimated empty time is 6 hours and 25 minutes now, and that's at 47% stated charge. So if this battery were full, we're looking at over 12 hours of runtime. Now let's go ahead and plug in the battery charger to see if it does anything with the battery on the battery app. And what I like about these battery chargers is that the cords seem to be typically pretty long, about 6 to 8 feet on each side. So we'll just take the AC outlet, and we're gonna go ahead and plug it into this watt meter over here on the wall to kind of monitor that as well. Let's go ahead and plug it in. All right, our charger started charging. And now you can see on the app that we are actually pulling in 775 watts into the battery. And it's gonna take 3 hours and 40 minutes to charge this all the way to 100%. And it is still running that air conditioner over there. So now looking at this, we're looking at around 1370 watts. So if we go and look at amps, that's around 13.12 amps coming from this outlet. So what that means is If you have a smart plug like this, these can handle up to 15 amps. And this is where it comes to play when you want to maybe save some money. So if you want to save money with a setup like this, which would take a long time if you're gonna just buy all this stuff and expect to get your money's worth, because this battery is about $600 right now. Inverter might be a couple hundred. AC unit is another couple hundred. So you're looking at like $1,000 for a setup like this. If you want to use it for years and years and years, you could actually get your money back. If you're going to use one of these, you just set this as a smart timer. For instance, my power utility, it charges me a premium between the hours of 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. So I would just set this to turn off between 2 and 7 p.m. every night. And then that way, I would only be using the electricity that is on the lower set of my plan. But also, what this would really be good for is if you are on a plan where your electricity is scheduled to turn off during certain times. Because this setup, it's charging right now, but it doesn't care that it's charging right now. If I unplug this, nothing's going to turn off. See? The lights flickered a little bit just because I pulled 1,300 watts out of the outlet, but the AC is still running, the inverter is still running, and now everything is being powered from this battery. So I believe that is the most valuable part of this. If you have scheduled power outages or you have frequent power outages, this setup can really be a lifesaver when it comes to being able to cool, a small bedroom or something like that. Keeping one room in your house cool, especially during those days when the temperature can get a heat index of like over 105 degrees. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about the setup that I did, or any questions in particular about this GrenerPower 51.2 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate golf cart battery, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll have a link to all these items in my description, just in case you want to look further into them. Thanks again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.